Hey guys, Greg Bennett here. I'm gonna get started. Tonight we'll only be here for about 30 minutes. I'm gonna take my video off. I've been having some issues with the Wi-Fi. We had a storm come through here. I'm just gonna take my video off. I want you guys to pay real close attention to what I have to say tonight because if you take really good notes and you digest everything that I talk about tonight, it honestly, and this is a over exaggeration, but it could be life changing, or at the very least, change your mindset. But one thing I do want you to know that having a net worth of over $1 million is possible for you. And you can do it in a very, very short period of time. We've got 5 years here, but for some of you guys who are a little younger, even if it took 10 years, it's okay. But you've got to know what net worth is and what you need to do to achieve that. So my goal for you is to have a net worth of over $1 million. And it's not easy. And it takes different buckets of money, different buckets of assets in order to achieve that goal. But I want you guys to know that you can achieve it. And so, like I said, we're only going to be here for about maybe 30 minutes, maybe a little long. If you have any questions, just stop me, raise your hand, do whatever you need. Also, I am going to break all this down into 4 days. So I've got a 4-day course starting Monday. And so if you guys haven't registered for that 4-day course, and I know some of you guys have already, just go to BBC 4-day to register. But I do think that this is very important. So tonight's big question, you guys, tonight's big question is, could you become a millionaire in 5 years? And the answer is yes. And I want you to receive that. I want you to receive it. The answer is yes, you can. Not necessarily by earning $1 million, but by building $1 million net worth. Tonight we're going to build the roadmap, educational framework only. Results depend on your income, savings, markets, business results, debt, taxes, and other factors. But more importantly, results depend on how hard you want to work and how much you want to invest. That's really where the results are. Again, any questions, let me know. Here's what net worth is. Net worth is your assets minus your liability. And so then the question is, what are your assets? Your assets are the equity in your home, or equity in your homes, investment properties, investing in the stock market, ETFs, stocks and other retirement accounts, cash, and business ownership and other investments. Business ownership meaning starting a small business, and being able to sell that business. And so, what's the net worth of that? And so, for some of us, we've got $1 million in net worth in almost all of the categories. And so you can do it. If you start investing now, and I don't care how old you are, you could be in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, it doesn't matter. You've got to get started. And you'll be surprised in what you can accomplish in a very, very short period of time. Liabilities. Your liabilities are your mortgages, credit cards, auto loans, student loans, and other debts, which means for some of you guys, it's also important to get rid of some of these liabilities because it's dragging your net worth down. And so your mortgages, your credit cards, car loans, dragging your net worth down. If net worth is assets minus liabilities, let's focus on creating more assets and getting rid of liabilities. Let's focus on that. All right, calculate your net worth today. What is it? What do I own? So start thinking about, what do you own? Do you own a house? Um, I mean, cars are not an asset. Actually, they are a liability. They're a depreciating asset. But start thinking about everything that you own right now, and then what you owe, and then what's the difference. And so, for example, if you own a house that's worth, let's just say 500,000, but you owe the bank 400,000, then you've got a net worth just with your house of $100,000. And that's an example right here. Let's say you've got 300,000 in assets minus $250,000 in liabilities. You've got a net worth of $75,000. So I always think about how can I increase my revenues or have more assets, and then I always think about how can I get rid of my liabilities. Um, I'm always thinking about that. How can I reduce my expenses? How can I reduce my liabilities? Because I want my net worth to be high. And so why is that important? The reason why that's so important is because there's going to come a time in your life that you want to borrow against your net worth or you want to take out some type of loan. They're going to look at your assets minus your liabilities to figure out what your net worth is. To get a line of credit, you're gonna have to fill out a personal what's it called? A personal financial statement. I think that's what it's called. Um, and you're gonna have to list all of your assets and all of your liabilities. And so the banks, the mortgage companies, they look at all of those things. So that's why it's so important. The $1 million goal, increase revenue by 50%. Reframe the question. Instead of asking, how can I make $1 million? Ask, what assets do I need to own to create $1 million net worth? What are the assets? And then you've got to start thinking about how can I get to those assets? How can I achieve those assets? How can I buy more of those assets? Your goal is $1 million in net worth in 5 years. Now, we're not talking about $1 million in cash. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking net worth, not necessarily cash, not necessarily cash at all. All right, Big Life Blueprint. Build an ecosystem of assets across five powerful pillars: home ownership, real estate investing, stock market investing, entrepreneurship, financial protection, and retirement plans like annuities. Pillar number one, own your own home. For many families, a home can become one of their largest assets. Appreciation, property is going to go up in value. Mortgage principal reduction, your mortgage payment or your mortgage principal will go down, and you can add an extra payment. Some people add an extra payment every year to reduce the mortgage principal so that instead of paying it off in, say, 30 years, you can pay it off in less than 20 years by just adding an extra payment. And by reducing your mortgage um, balance, that increases your net worth. And so for some of us, we've got $1 million in net worth just in the house that we live in. So, and you can make strategic improvements to your house to force appreciation to bring up the value in your home. The goal, move from renting to owning to building equity and building equity in the home. And, another reason why we do that is because we can borrow from the equity and we pay no taxes on that. That's not a taxable event. And so owning a home is definitely an asset. You can borrow from your own equity to invest in other assets and increase your net worth. Home equity example, hypothetical home breakdown, home value is 600,000, mortgage balance is 450, home equity is 100, you have 150,000 in equity or 150,000 in net worth. That equity contributes directly to your net worth. Transaction costs, and other factors are not included. Equity is the portion of your home that you truly own, and it grows every year. We're fortunate to live in this area where property values double in 15 years. It's not unheard of for the value of our property to go up 10% every year here in the DMV. And so, for example, if you own a home and let's just say it's worth 600,000, next year it could be worth 660,000. And then the year after that, um, 10, 660,000, I was going to do the math for you, but I'm not going to. But anyway, it could go up 10% every year. And so with that appreciation, and the mortgage balance going down, that gives you the equity, increases your net worth. So owning a home is a big part of getting your net worth to $1 million. Wealth pillar number two, buy investment properties. Real estate can build wealth through multiple simultaneous mechanisms: cash flow, appreciation, mortgage pay down, and value add and tax benefits. And so we just talked about home ownership. Just really multiply that by two or three or four or five or 10 different homes because it's really the same thing. But actually with investment properties, we have more equity in those properties because as investors, we're buying those properties for a lot lower. The house I actually live in, I paid market value for the house. I had the house built, paid market value. So when I moved into the house, I had no equity. When we're buying investment properties, we're generally buying at 70% of the after repair value minus repair costs, which means we're generally buying with at least 30% equity into the property. So we're getting more equity in our rental properties, and then eventually more appreciation than the home that we live in. And so you've got to understand that. So understand the full picture. Before you buy, analyze every number: purchase price, after repair value, renovation budget, financing costs, rental income. So we're running the rental comps to make sure that we're cash flowing. That cash flow that we are getting from the rental properties, that cash flow does not go into our pocket. That cash flow goes into an account as reserves for maintenance costs and to pay towards the principal of the property. We want rental properties to eventually be paid off. And we want to get them paid off, in my opinion, within 10, 15 years. And so the only way to do that is to accelerate the principal. And you can use your cash flow, just like in stocks, where you get a dividend payment on some of the ETFs. Instead of taking those ETFs and spending that money, you can keep those dividend payments into the ETF and allow that to grow. Either buy um, more stock, but keep that into the ETF so it can continue to grow. And that's the same thing with rental properties. Let's try to get to a point where we're not spending the cash flow, we're reinvesting the cash flow. Your first investment property purchase plus improvements, 300,000. Post renovation value, 75,000. I mean, 375. Potential equity created, 75,000. Any questions so far, you guys? Repeat carefully over time, and real estate can become a significant part of your net worth. My opinion, you don't need a lot of rental properties to get to that $1 million threshold, that $1 million net worth. One or two or three properties that you bought right, paid down, paid off, and your tenant's going to help you pay those off, can help you get to that net worth of $1 million. Um, the real estate goal, property one, acquire a smarter asset to live in. Number two, improve cash flow and value, scale, improve returns, and then create a portfolio of properties. I think that and we'll get into this, but the best two types of investments are real estate being number one, in my opinion, and then number two, the stock market, compounded interest. You don't necessarily need dozens of properties. You need good assets purchased intelligently. And so you want to buy properties that are going to cash flow, that are in great neighborhoods, that continue to go up in value. And that's really going to improve your net worth. Pillar number three, become an investor. ETFs. Um, your access tool. ETFs can provide access to baskets of securities through a single investment, diversification across hundreds of companies. Accessibility, start with small amounts. Low cost options available through major brokerages, broad market exposure to build long-term wealth. All securities involve risks, including possible loss of principal. And so we say that as a disclaimer, but I do want you to invest in the stock market. Like like I just said, it's a lethal combination to be able to invest in both the stock market and real estate. You want your money to compound. At the very least, and we'll talk about this in a minute, um, a Roth IRA, right now, Roth is allowing you to put at least $7,500 into that account. Everybody should be putting that amount or close to that amount into a Roth IRA and just letting that money grow because you're building a tax-free retirement. Now, the way that money grows is through your Roth, you can buy ETFs and put them inside of your Roth and put the $7,500 into that ETF and just let it compound. And some ETFs are getting 20%, 25%, 30%. VGT, which is Vanguard's tech tech ETF, is getting over 30%. SMH, which is a semiconductor ETF, is getting 40% a year for now. And so you can put, but a safer bet would be to put your Roth in, put an ETF inside of your Roth like VOO, VOO, which is the S&P 500, which right now is you're getting 20% on the money in your Roth. Um, but on average, over the last 5 to 10 years, generally around 15%. But right now, the market is really good because of all the tech ETFs. But we want to invest and we want to be investors, especially for retirement. And so that's in part why we put money into the stock market and it's liquid. And so if you ever need to pull money out, that is a taxable event, but it's liquid. Like if you needed money tomorrow, you can pull your money out. Now you're gonna have to pay capital gain taxes on it, but you can pull it out. Unlike real estate, if you need to pull money out, you're gonna have to sell the property or refinance. That's gonna take 30 days. Your first ETF milestone. Learn about account types. There's different types of accounts with ETF. You've got ETFs for dividends. So some ETFs like SCHD pays out, that's Schwab's ETF, pays out really good dividends every month. It's like you invest in that ETF, it grows at about 15 to 20% every year, but then it also pays you a dividend every single month. Sends you a paycheck every single month. So depending on how much money you have in that ETF is going to pay out pretty good every single month, and it doesn't touch the principal. And so there's dividend ETFs. There's growth, what they call growth ETFs, like the SMHs, like I just told you about, the SOXS stocks that are semiconductor ETFs that are doing 20, 30, 40%, not 20, but 30, 40%. Um, But a better growth ETF is probably like QQQ. A lot of people are getting that one. And that's giving like 20%, which is good. You're getting 20% on your money. Determining a appropriate investing amount. I would like to see you putting in $100 a month. Um, Research diversified investments, automate contributions if appropriate. So you can open up a brokerage account and have that brokerage account go into your bank account and automatically transfer, say, $100 into an ETF every month without you doing anything. You can automate that. Increase contributions as income increases. Consistency plus time plus principle. There's a number of people that I know that have 5 million, 10 million, 15 million in the stock market, but they were consistent in their contributions. And as they were making more money, they put more money in. The power of monthly investing. Month one, we're saying 500, but even if it's 100, that's fine. Growing phase, 1,000, acceleration. So as you're growing, and making more money, put in 1,000, and then if you can put in 1,500 or more, you want to keep doing that. And so, if you're flipping properties or selling real estate or wholesaling real estate, some of you guys are realtors. Every month, as you're having settlements, put money into the stock market. The real goal. The goal isn't predicting tomorrow's market. The goal is building the habit of owning productive assets. Imagine consistently investing $500 a month, then 1,000, then 1,500 plus a month as income grows. The habit is the wealth builder. That also involves you guys living below your means. Like we've got to live below our means so that we have a great retirement. And so I'm coming up on the age where I'm starting to really, really think about retirement. And so all of these things right here is very, very important for me. But I had wished that these things would have been more important, as I really got started, with my career. All right, wealth pillar number four, your income has to grow too. Cutting expenses has its limits. Income growth creates more capacity to buy properties, invest, save, and protect your family. Buy properties, invest more, protect more. Entrepreneurship can be an accelerator, whether you're an entrepreneur full-time or part-time, but also involves meaningful risks. And so, in order to build wealth, in my opinion, you've got to be an entrepreneur. You've got to sell something. You've got to sell either a product or a service. Now, obviously, I'm biased to real estate and insurance, but then also coaching, home services, tech, AI, and professional services, whatever it is. And it's not to say to quit your day job because I'm not suggesting that, but to have a side hustle. Some of my real estate agents who work part-time, they sell real estate and they make six figures. Some of them make more money selling real estate part-time than they do on their full-time job. And so, selling real estate has been very good for all of us, all of us in our brokerage, and then our insurance as well. As a matter of fact, the insurance is a better model because you've got renewals. So you sell a policy, and every time your client renews, you get paid again. And then you can easily build a downline. So anyone in your downline has a sale, you get an override on every sale in your downline, whether you recruited that person in your downline or not. And so it's really, really scalable insurance. And so I love it. The lethal combination, another lethal combination would be to have your real estate and your insurance license because now you can sell insurance to your real estate clients and real estate to your insurance clients. So that's a lethal combination. But nonetheless, we've got to generate revenue in a business that's going to give us more money to invest. Now, another asset and another reason why we bring up entrepreneurship is because if you build a real estate business or build an insurance business, you've got a book of business there that you can also sell, which means your business is an asset. Now, there's people um, that will buy your business, that will buy your book of business. So not only are you investing in real estate, you're putting money into ETFs, you've got a business, let's just use as an example, real estate insurance, where it's an asset that at the end of the day, when you're ready to retire, you can sell your business and that can be part of your retirement. So I want you guys to think about that. And there's a number, like I said, there's a number of buyers of insurance companies that will buy your book of business. There's a number of buyers of real estate businesses. You get your real estate license, you build a business, people will buy your business. There's more buyers of insurance companies though, um, because it's just easier to track your book of business for insurance. So there's a lot of buyers that will buy your book of business, and we're not talking huge books. Like if you can get to the point where you've got over time um, maybe 200 clients, 300 clients that you sold policies to that over the years are still making their payments on their policies. Let's say you sell uh, 5 or 10 policies a month for the next 3 years. You've got a book of business that you can sell. And that could be part of your retirement plan along with your other assets with the real estate and the stock market, the ETFs. All right, convert income into assets. Your business income, you pay yourself, you build reserves, you invest, and you buy assets, and you sell your business. Don't just make more, own more. So we want to own our business, we want to own our assets. All right, the last pillar is protect what you're building. Building wealth without managing risk can leave your entire plan vulnerable. Consider discussing with qualified professionals life insurance, income protection, estate planning, property and business protection, and then also under insurance is annuities. And so whether we're talking about fixed annuities, variable annuities, or there's one more annuity, fixed, variable, and I'll think of it in a second. I'll think of it in a second. But for example, if you had, let's just say you had $500,000, you could turn that into, let's just say, a fixed annuity that could pay you like $3,000 a month for the rest of your life. And so you just want to think about index. There you go, Douglas. So we got index annuities, fixed annuities, and variable annuities. I knew you'd come through for me, Douglas. And so I want you guys to start thinking about that because all of those things, you guys, in terms of protection is important because you don't want to build a business, have assets, and then lose them. And so you want to protect yourself and protect your family in case something was to happen to you. There's a lot of insurance products that you can actually use for retirement that you can use while you're still living. All right, your 5-year millionaire roadmap. Year one is your foundation. Calculate your net worth, reduce expensive debt, build reserves, prepare for buying a home or beginning investing. A lot of you guys already have a home, so you want to start investing and increase your income. Year two, acquire. increase investing, buy your first investment property if you haven't, or your second, and grow business and side income. So you want to start building a business, you guys. That's it's just so important to be an entrepreneur and to have at least to do it part time, um, to have extra income and to have another asset that you can sell. Expand in year three. Acquire additional assets, increase contributions, strengthen your business systems. Um, Step four, year four, accelerate. Focus on asset quality, reinvest income, optimize debt and cash flow. And then year five, consolidate. Measure net worth. Strengthen cash flow. Review protection. Plan the next 5 years. So I want you guys to start thinking about your net worth and the assets that you have now, the liabilities, and what your net worth is. And I really want you guys to focus on getting to the place where in the next 5 years, through having a small business, through having home ownership, having real estate investing, investing in the stock market, having those buckets of money and investments and assets that you can have a net worth of over 1 million. Now, with home ownership and real estate investing, it's just about acquiring those assets because through appreciation, your net worth is going to go up just through appreciation, just by owning the properties. You do want to focus on um, reducing that mortgage balance because that's going to increase your net worth. But just by owning the property, the value is going to go up, and which means your net worth is going to go up. What could $1 million look like? And so here's um, a illustrated portfolio breakdown. Primary home equity, 200,000. And for most of us, we've got more than 200,000, way more than 200,000. Um, Investment property equity, 300,000. For a lot of us, we've got more than that. ETFs in stock market portfolio, 200,000. Business equity, what our business is worth, 250,000, and cash and other assets, 50,000. And so this is, your breakdown might be different than this, but you guys can do it. And that's the goal. The goal is to get your net worth of $1 million. That's your goal. I remember when I first got out of college, it was a big deal to be a millionaire. And our goal at that time was just to make $100,000. We all started out of college making 20,000, 30,000, 40,000. That was a lot of money when I got out of college. And our goal at the time was one day we're going to have a salary of over $1 million. And I mean, over $100,000. And $1 million just seemed out of reach. That was many, many years ago. Now you have so many people. I had the statistics a couple weeks ago, and I can't even remember what they were. The number of people who were millionaires now, um, and now the big number is billionaires. So we've got a lot of billionaires, but you've got a lot of millionaires, you guys, that's walking around now. All you've got to do is learn how to become a millionaire or have your net worth over $1 million. And you guys can do it. You just have to get serious with your life, get serious with your savings, investing in assets, um, making sacrifices, but through the equity in your home, through the equity in your investment properties, start thinking about that. Your retirement slash start portfolio, the equity in your business or businesses, and everybody on here should have a side business, a side hustle. And then the cash that you may have should have a $1 million. That should be the goal to get to in the next 5 years. There's more. buyers of businesses, you guys, I can't stress this enough, than ever before. People are buying revenue. Now, you used to have, um, business that was worth, a half a million to a million for or more for someone to buy. But that's not the case anymore. You can build a business that's worth, say, 200,000 or worth even 100,000. You've got a buyer for it now. And when I say worth that, I'm talking about your what they call your EBITDA or your uh, net profits. So your net profits of 100,000, 200,000, which means you're making, say, 400,000, but once we take out all of your expenses from your business, you're really netting, let's say, 200,000. As an example, there's buyers of those businesses out here, especially in the insurance and real estate arenas. And it doesn't take a lot to get there. Does not take a lot to get there. Now, you can use that not only as your net worth, but as another asset that you can sell, and people will buy that. That could be part of your retirement. All right. Your wealth flywheel. We'll start with entrepreneurship, creates additional income streams beyond your salary, acquire more assets, fund investments, and build real estate equity. I want you guys to start thinking about how can I buy my next property? How can I do that? And where is it going to come from? How's my credit? Have I saved enough money? Do I know the lenders to talk to? Am I part of an organization that can help find the deals? I want you guys to start thinking about that because the sooner you buy properties, even in this market, we have some people somebody went to closing today, as a matter of fact, and we've got a few others that are going to close this month. They're creating wealth for themselves just by owning the properties. Now they're looking at the cash flow, and that's why real estate is, you know, other than buying businesses, is the best investment out here, which is real estate, because you're getting cash flow and equity. Your big life wealth passport. Every milestone you check off moves you closer to $1 million. Owning a home, purchasing your first investment property, creating a financial protection plan, open up an investment account. I will personally help you guys open up a brokerage account. Starting or owning a business get you that much closer to getting your net worth to a million. And again, my goal for you is to have a net worth of $1 million in the next 5 years. A net worth of $1 million in the next 5 years. And if you don't get it, it's your fault, not my fault, because I'm going to help you get there. And you're not going to get there with just one stream of income. You've got to have multiple streams, and they have to be assets. A home is an asset, it's going to go up in value. Investments are an asset, they're going to go up in value. Your stock portfolio obviously is going to go up in value, it's going to compound, and then your business is going to go up in value. Next 90 days, you guys, 7 actions to take right now. Calculate your current net worth. Your net worth could be negative, it could be zero, but we got to start somewhere. And then let's keep growing. Choose your biggest wealth gap. Could be home ownership. If you're not owning a home right now, let's focus on what we need to do to own a home. Let's get started there. Establish a monthly savings target, even if it's $100. Let's get in the mindset of saving. Meet with the appropriate professionals. It's good that you guys come to these meetings, but you should be having more one-on-ones with me, being part of at least our inner circle so that you're around the right people. Analyze potential real estate opportunities, identify how you'll increase income really by owning a business, and create your written 5-year plan. All right. What is stopping you? What is stopping you? Not enough income? Credit? Is credit stopping you? Let's fix it. Debt? You got a lot of debt? Let's get rid of it. Let's start slowly but surely paying it off. Don't know how to invest? Can't find real estate deals? Don't know what business to start? I will give you a business to start. Fear? Like, come on, you guys, we've come too far to be fearful. We are here now. Our ancestors have come too far. We've got the greatest opportunities today, and we've got to take advantage of it. There's people in our lives that have made a way for us, you guys, and a lot of us are just sitting idly by, not doing anything about it. We've got rights and privileges and opportunities that many that came before us did not have. And so we've got to stop with the excuses, get rid of the fear, and go for it. Some of you guys have come here from other countries, or your ancestors or your parents have come from other countries. This coming here to the US is there's lots of opportunities that you didn't have where you came from. So let's take advantage of it. You may have no plan and no accountability. Put your answer in the chat. What is it? Somebody put the answer. Somebody be bold enough to put the answer. What is stopping you? Not enough income, credit, debt, don't know how to invest, can't find real estate deals, don't know what business to start, fear, no plan. Somebody put it. I don't care if you're driving, I don't care what you're doing. Put the answer in the chat. Credit, Marlene says credit and debt. Okay, Marlene, we need to talk about that. Credit and debt. So we got to get rid of some of your debt. How do we get rid of some of your debt, Marlene? We're going to have to figure it out. Andrea says, nothing at all. Ain't no stopping us now. All right. Andrea had a good day. She doesn't think that she had a good day today, but Andrea had a really, really good day today. All right. Let's see what we got here. Pay off aggressive. Okay. Be aggressive about paying off. Marlene says, made my first offer today. You go, girl. Way to go, G Marie. You didn't tell me about that. We got to get together. I feel like, G Marie, you've been avoiding me. I was going to take you to lunch a few weeks ago. You turned me down. We need to get together.
You
Yeah.
need to stop telling your stories. You were out of town on the last call. I was with Keith, and I spoke to Keith the other morning about what I was working on. So he did say check with you. You answered my question about the Section 8. That's one deal, and I just got off the phone with a. I'm super excited with a person, a realtor, property manager that's selling a 4 unit in DC, and I said like it's a seller. I'm excited. I'm sorry, y'all. It was a great conversation, and he's waiting for me to call him back once I get the offer put together.
Okay. Well, any way I can help you, let me go. Let me know. And we
Yeah, I
can.
need your help.
Marlene says I can't take you. I can take you anywhere but Sabatino. She doesn't like Sabatinos.
Absolutely not.
I second it.
Ah, there you have it, Greg.
Y'all teaming up on me. Um, let's see. George is saying income. Emmanuel is saying working on income. Okay. Emmanuel, I know you called the office today, but give me a call. We need to stay in touch. I need you to be my superstar. Let's see here. All right. Don't try to do this alone, you guys. That's when we make a lot of mistakes. If your goal is big enough, you can't even try to do it by yourself. Don't go at it alone. Let other people help you. Knowledge is one step, implementation is where the work begins. A plan plus education plus resources plus accountability plus consistent action. You need all five to win. Never ever try to do this by yourself. I know men have egos, but the goal is to get to $1 million in net worth. The goal is not to get there by yourself. It's just to get there. And then once you get there, depending on what you want to do, maybe you take the next 5 years to get to 5 million. So you go from 1 million to 5 million. But let's get to that first million first. All right, so I do have a 4-day course. You can go to BBC 4-day. It's a new 4-day course. And so I'm going to put the link in the chat. I know some of you guys have already registered. The 4-day course is basically going to go over step by step what we just talked about. But each day I go into home ownership and real estate investing all for one night. And then another night I go into entrepreneurship and then ETFs for a whole hour and then financial protection, annuities, that kind of thing. And so it's absolutely free. I put the link in the chat. Go to it. It's a really good, I give you a great workbook to work with each day. And so sign up for it. Even if you have to miss a day or so, sign up for it. It's absolutely free. But I am going to go over in more detail how you're going to get to $1 million in net worth in 5 years. And you guys, you can do it. I don't want you to think that you can't do it because you can. And even though for some it might not mean anything, but to be able to say you're one of few that has a net worth over $1 million, which makes you a millionaire, it's just something nice to think of yourself as that, or even say. But I want you to get there, and I want to help you get there. All right, let's build your personal 5-year plan. Complimentary one-on-one. And so if you want to have a one-on-one with me, you can go to GB Schedule. I will help you put together that plan. I'm going to put my scheduler, SCHED, in the chat. So you can click on that and just schedule an appointment with me. You need help. Don't try to do this by yourself. There's no shame in getting help. Let's get the more help you get, the faster you'll get there. And so let's just go over it. We'll go over all the 5 pillars. We'll go over what's holding you back, and we'll go over what the solutions are. You can join my inner circle. I would love to. We've been meeting. Did Keith have a meeting last? Keith had a meeting last night for his first meeting in 2 months, I think. So Keith did have a Wednesday night meeting last night. I had a meeting on Tuesday night. We're all going to go out, both my coaching students and the inner circle, going out not this Saturday, but next Saturday out in the field. We'll have lunch. We will not be going to Sabatino's. To be fair, G. Marie, to be fair, the last time we went out, we did not go to Sabatino's. We went to a very nice seafood restaurant in Baltimore. Could you please unmute yourself and let the people know that we went to a nice seafood restaurant?
We did. It was really nice. The food was good. We had a good time too.
And it was not
Um,
Sabatino's.
no, it was not. It was down in it was in the harbor. Inner Harbor. It was right on out off of Alisana by the Marriott, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was on the corner. And yeah, we had a good time.
All right, Marlene, take back what you said about me.
And I didn't get invited, Greg.
You're always invited, Marlene.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're always invited.
Yeah, Andrea, I know. How could they go without us? I know.
All right. So I would love for you guys to be part of our inner circle. That's the link for that. But have a one-on-one with me, you guys, and I can tell you more about our inner circle and our coaching program. All right, your decision tonight, 5 years will pass either way. Either way, 5 years is going to go by. What you will own in 5 years from now is the question. Are you going to have more equity in your home? Are you going to have more equity in your investment properties? Are you going to open up a brokerage account and have more assets in your brokerage account? Are you going to start a business in the next 5 years? All of which I can help you. But we've got to do it, you guys. We got to do it. G. Marie's got 4 or 5 different businesses. And she's got a home. She's got everything. She's got everything. And so you guys can be like G. Marie. She's in her car now. I don't know what she's eating, but she's eating something.
I'm eating Smarties, and Greg, don't do that. I'm working hard at it just like everybody else.
You hustling, G. Marie. You are
All
hustling.
the time.
All right. All right. Income protection. Guard your number one asset. Your income is the engine. The risk is real. Protect the ability to build income protection insurance. And so we can talk about that. Insurance is very, very important for a lot of different reasons. Primarily, you want to know that you're protected, and the protection comes while you're living. It's not when you pass, it's while you're living. And so we've got a number of different policies that give you what we call living benefits. So if you have a critical, chronic, or terminal illness, the money that you've put into the policy pays you now. Doesn't wait until you pass, and the money that's in your policy, you can use that to invest in. And so we can talk about all those things. We can take a look at your current insurance plans and give you a better plan. All right, you guys, any questions? I may have gone through that pretty quickly. Any questions tonight, you guys?
Yes, Greg, I need help with this before I return this call to this agent tonight.
Okay, call me after we're adjourning now, so just call me.
Will do. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Any takeaways from tonight, you guys?
Greg,
Any?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Andrea.
I'm looking for buyers. I found a property in DC that's worth about $2 million. I'm looking for buyers. Where can I find a buyer who will
And
buy
what
this property?
is this a listing of yours?
It's not my listing, no.
Okay. It's not
I'm
an
looking for an
it's not
investor.
it's to live in, right?
No, it's actually got it's dual zoning. It could be residential or commercial.
Send me the information. We may have somebody.
Okay. All righty. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else?
That you can be a millionaire in 5 years.
Or say that again, Jim Marie. You're muted.
My takeaway is that you can be a millionaire in 5 years. I didn't mean to cut the other person off. Excuse me.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm late in the game. I'm old. Well, not per se old, but I'm don't have a lot of money, but I'm ready to get this.
Schedule an appointment with me, Darius.
Okay, I will.
I have a takeaway, Greg,
Go ahead, Marlene.
that you no longer go to Sabatino's and we got that new seafood restaurant.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's a huge thing. So that's a takeaway, right, G. Marie?
Absolutely, I second that again.
Thank you.
You guys love food, boy. All right, anything else, you guys? All right, let's get going, you guys. Let's like get real focused, real serious. And if we do that, lives can change. Your life can change. Your life literally can change. But you got to get focused. You've got to know that you could do this, and you got to reach out for help. And we're here to help you. All right, you guys. Take care. God bless. And we'll talk soon, everybody. Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
Greg.
Good night,
All
Greg.
right. Bye.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.